It's artificial insanity. And we knew this was coming, guys. The government has created an official digital footprint, which is now infected our entire lives from what? From our possessions, our cars, our houses, and of course, our bank accounts. One step at a time, they're taking away our Fourth Amendment rights. We just saw this came out from Ford has a new car. This is like nothing you've ever seen. It's pretty bad. This is a pretty bad situation here. MJ Truth Ultra tweets this out. Ford's nightmare truck is here. They just patented a truck that you won't own, but will own you. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Well, AI cameras read your face, your eyes, your emotions, and your fitness to drive. Won't let you shift out of park if it thinks you're not calm enough. What? Uh-oh. Live feeds to insurance companies and cops? What the F is going on here? What the hell is Ford doing? Biometric scans running you against criminal databases in real time. All day, every day. Wow. And if that ain't enough, if you thought you could get away with whispering and keeping quiet because you don't want them to hear you, it also specializes in lip reading tech. And it also eavesdrops. So that means it'll eavesdrop on every conversation to target ads. Of course, they already do that with our iPhones, right? They already do that. You're having a conversation with your brother, sister, wife, husband, friend, and something comes up in the conversation, and what do you know? You go to your feed, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and what do you get? That thing comes up. It could be something totally ridiculous. Like, it could be anything. It could be like, hey, tap dancing lessons. I always wanted to try that. Oh, that's cool. Tap dancing lessons? That's weird. Why would you do that? I don't know. I was just thinking about it. I was high. I don't know. Go to your phone. Tap dancing lesson. Like, you're like, what the F? And I just random example. Anyways, as far as the cars go, and this is just Ford, they're all doing it. It's not just Ford. They're all going to do it. You paid for it. You have the title, but Ford decides if you actually get to drive it. Here is an example of how bad it can be. This little video went viral on Twitter. Check it out. It's originally from TikTok, but it went viral.
No. Now imagine there was an emergency outside the truck, an accident, something terrible on the ranch with a chainsaw. And I jump in this truck, but the truck, it won't shift into drive. Why? Because the cameras and sensors inside this cab won't let it shift, because it detects my eyes are big, there's a lot of emotion, there's some panic, and it doesn't feel that I'm fit to drive. Now that's not science fiction, that is happening because Ford just filed the patents. Ford actually has a series of patents down at the US Patent and Trade Office that deal with the sensors and cameras inside the cab of their truck. And if the sensors in that truck determine that you're not fit to drive, that truck will not actually shift from park to drive. Now they already have a system called telematics, and that's where they can actually pull up cameras in real time inside the cab of their fleet vehicles. Now, they actually market this to insurance companies because the truth is, this is really about who owns the data and who owns the liability. Now, your name might actually be on the title of this truck, and you may have paid for it, but you don't own it. Now, Ford didn't file just one patent. They filed a stack of them, all within months of each other. Are you sitting down? Get this. This Ford technology patent doesn't just watch you. This one puts you in jail. Ford filed a patent, serial number 0104469, where the system takes your biometric data, your face, your iris, and your fingerprint, and it runs it through a criminal database in real time. While you're sitting in your own truck, think about what that means. You wake up one morning. You walk out to your driveway, you climb into a vehicle with your name on the title, on property with your name on the deed. And before you go anywhere, before you've done a single thing wrong, your truck is already running your face through a law enforcement database. Ford's own patent language describes this as potentially useful for police.
That's it. That's all they need to say. Potentially useful. How would it be useful for police? That's weird. Which means it is used for the police, which means it's a police mechanism in place, a surveillance mechanism for police, for the police state. That's what that is. Not potentially. It is. That's what it actually is.
They wrote that. Ford wrote that into the patent application. So the question isn't whether this technology can be abused. Ford already told you who it's for. You just didn't know that you were buying a cop car.
Yeah. Looks like we're all going to be buying cop cars. That's what it looks like. Let's get Shannon Joy's take on this because she's just as livid about this as we are here at the Homeless Left. Here's Shannon Joy.
Is if they plan on locking us out of our cars for a variety of reasons, what else do they have planned for us? How long is it before they lock us out of our money through a digital ID or a private banking digital ID or a stable coin or tokenized dollars, right? How long is it before they lock us out of our money? How long is it before they lock us out of our electricity?
All of those things are happening. All of them. She's 100% right. We've seen trial and errors of all of these different components. We saw bank accounts frozen way back in Canada during the truckers protest. The truckers protest against COVID, the COVID vax. Their bank accounts were frozen. If you gave money to their Give, Send, Go, your bank account was frozen. They stole money. They steal money from your bank accounts if they don't like what you're doing. They don't like what you're protesting against. They don't like the way you go about your First Amendment right for free speech. They will punish you. They will take your shit. They'll turn off your car. Like Shannon says, they will turn off your electricity. They will they will turn off your bank account. This is all part of the digital footprint, digital ID, 15-minute cities, 100% 24/7 surveillance state that's been coming this whole time. And I point out the truckers. Isn't that irony that it's the truckers that we first saw this with, and now you got a Ford truck being released in 20, I guess it's coming out in 2027. We'll get to that in a second, the 2027 part of this, because we're counting down. We basically have a year left until this is across the board with all auto companies. But it's interesting, it full circles back to the car, back to Ford truck, because it was the truckers who were first being made example of way back. And this is the Biden administration. It was in Canada, but they were accusing, believe me, you guys, if you don't remember this or you don't know this happened, liberal outlets like Comedy Central Daily Show was mocking Canadians for free speech while their bank accounts are being closed. The truckers convoy, their bank accounts are being closed. This was during the Biden administration, and they were being called Nazis, and weird enough, they were being called Trump supporters, even though they were in Canada. So this was coming from the left and the right, all around. It's not a left-right thing. It's a power versus people, people versus power. That's what this is. So she's 100% right about what's coming. We've been warning you guys from the beginning. Trump in office was 100% a distraction. Those of you who thought he was going to come in and take on that deep state, take on that surveillance mechanism, take on that silencing of free speech, as we saw so much of during COVID, so much of during the beginning of the Ukraine war, so much of when COVID started, and you had an opinion about lockdowns or an opinion about vaccines. There was a mechanism in place to punish, to deplatform, and now to turn off your car, turn off your electricity, and turn off your freaking bank account.
If our social credit score dips below a certain level, can they deny us lights, heat, electricity in our own homes? What about our ability to travel? Social media, the internet, education, healthcare, appliances.
Yep.
right? Couldn't you just see HHS saying, well, we have an obesity problem in the United States of America, but rather than holding pharmaceutical companies liable and food companies and chemical companies liable for poisoning us with our food, right? Oh, no, no, no. They're just going to blame it on you and lock you out of your refrigerator if your biometric surveillance comes in. Can't you see it? Robert Kennedy Jr. wants us all with smartwatches, feeding government back to or feeding our biometric.
That's right. I forgot about the smartwatches. RFK Jr. telling us we can track you on your wrist. So if you get sick, we can get you your mRNA AI doctor immediately. I've fallen and I can't get up. Guess what? You get an AI doctor sent right to your wrist, from your wrist. We got you. AI doctor is going to tell you about your future cancer that you don't have yet, but you will. So take this mRNA gene therapy. That's RFK Jr. That's RFK Jr. We can track you, whatever happens to you. Man, did we get fucking played. Man, what a joke. What a scam. What a scam. And for all you effing libtards out there, and I'm sorry for bashing on you. I'm not trying to punch down on you, but all you effing libtards telling us, we told you so. We told you about Trump. We told you he was bad. You mother effers were rooting this on the whole time through Biden. You were rooting against your own rights. That's why Trump got the momentum he did. And they were real smart about capturing the other half of the country that wasn't falling for COVID, and they weren't falling for Ukraine. They weren't falling for the surveillance state. They weren't falling for digital IDs, but they were going to fall for what? Immigration. What were they going to fall for? They were going to fall for Israel. These were mechanisms of why you needed to switch sides, get Trump in there, get the other half of the country on board for all of these things, the digital ID footprint, the 15-minute cities, the land grabbing. You remember how the right was so vocal about land grabbing before, and the left told you to shut up about Lahaina, shut up about even the LA fires, which is right when Biden was leaving office. Shut up about all of that shit. Shut up about the genocide. That was the left doing that. And if you go and protest, you deserve your bank account. Well, look, now it's the right doing it. And RFK Jr. switched sides. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go over with Trump and I'm going to push all the things that I told everybody in the populist movement that I was going to be against. I'm going to push all of it. And if you think the Epstein files are going to be solved, just keep holding your breath. And on child trafficking, which RFK also ran on, I'm going to stop child trafficking. Really? How's that coming along? How are those chemtrails? How are those coming along too? But you libtards, you know what? I'm sorry for calling you that, but maybe you're starting to ask questions now that you weren't ever willing to do when Biden was in office. Maybe now you're starting to ask some questions about how all this shit works. And we've been yelling about it. We've been consistent the whole effing time, man. That's the thing. We've been consistent the whole effing time. And Shannon Joy, great job. By the way, Shannon Joy, great show she does. Great show. We want her on too. We're gonna hook up with Shannon Joy. Great. Talk about consistent populist messaging, non-tribal approach to journalism. Shannon Joy, you get our thumbs up for sure. So let's see, is there anybody in the government besides Thomas Massie? Is there anybody else working on behalf of the people, fighting against this AI technocracy, PayPal mafia, psychopath technocrat, hand-selected JD Vance, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp? Is there anybody in office saying anything about this now? Let's see Lauren Boebert. Let's see what she has to say.
They're scanning our faces in public places, at protests, even at our children's schools. The government is building secret databases they can go through anytime that they feel like it. They're blanketing our neighborhoods with flock cameras. And every single one of you should be saying, what the flock?
Okay, not the greatest joke, but she got some attention. Okay, a couple laughs. What the flock?
I mean, this is an absolute egregious reach on our Fourth Amendment rights. They're creating a digital footprint of your entire life without a single warrant or even probable cause. Your morning commute to work, it's tracked. Dropping off your kids at their soccer practice, that's logged. Visiting a church or a gun range, recorded forever in a government accessible database.
Are you pissed yet? Are you ready to be effing angry about this? And are you willing to admit? I mean, I don't care. Do it to yourself. Do it in your own confession booth, whatever you do. Do it in your therapy session. Willing to admit that you got something wrong. I don't care. But can you see that this didn't just start right now? Can you see? Are you aware that this thing's been being planned this whole time? Are you aware that we've been yelling and screaming about this back when we had right-wing populists that cared about this shit? Are you a lefty who now all of a sudden cares about it because it's Trump's administration doing it? Are you seeing it? This has been in play this whole time, not just in the last year and change. This has been going on the whole way. We've been yelling and screaming about it, and here we are. And barely anybody in an actual elected office is doing anything about it. Anything. So we'll end it on this. For this artificial insanity moment we're living through here with this technology coming to our homes, our cars, our bank accounts. Let's go back to the car thing. I told you guys about Ford with the 2027. That's less than a year from now. Here's what's happening with all cars next year. Has anyone heard of this law? By 2027. So that's at the end of this calendar year. That's coming up. By 2027, every new passenger vehicle sold in the U.S. must have built-in tech that constantly monitors the driver. Constantly. Cameras watching your eyes, face and behavior to detect impairment, alcohol, fatigue, distraction. So if you're witnessing a crime and you have to get to the police, or, oh, I got it, you're being chased. What if you're a woman by yourself? You have your car keys, you have the key to your car, and someone's chasing you, and you're like, I got to get to the street. I got to get to where I'm my parking spot. And there's my car. Beep, beep. It opens. Beep, beep. There's my car. Go, 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 go. Open the door. I'm in. Engine on. Let's go. Uh-oh. It sounds like your vehicle has detected an impairment. Your heart rate is too fast. So you're going to have to sit there and relax until your car feels like you're ready to drive. So have fun while that stalker arrives at you and slashes your fucking face in while you're waiting for your heart rate to slow down. Good. That's a good one. So again, this has been in play the whole way from 2021, the infrastructure bill when Biden was president. Safety win or government's surveillance in your car. That's with the question mark. It's going to be in all of our cars. So we tell you to grow your own food. You might want to consider walking as well.